All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to the 5-day Note Investing Challenge kickoff. Honored to have you all here tonight with us. Hopefully, you're all staying safe out there. What a crazy world we live in with the weather and everything like that. Hopefully, the power stays on here long enough for us to get through. If not, we'll re-record it and get it reshared out with all and every one of you. So, welcome again, guys, to the 5-day Note Investing Challenge. Honored to have you all here, whether you're joining us live here on Zoom, watching the replays, or join us and watching live in the Facebook group. If you have not joined the 5-day Note Investing Challenge, do so. Go to 5daynotes.com, hit the register. What'll happen is you'll pop up a thank you page for registering. There'll be a couple links there. One, for you to click on the link to join the private Facebook group. Two, asking you to make sure they put scott@weclosenotes.com, my email address, on your safe list. And three, introducing yourself to the group, a photo. Tell us about your past, what you're focused on, what kind of deal flow. Thank you so much for those that have done that already. We've only got a fraction of you guys that have registered have actually clicked on the Facebook group, so we're constantly doing that. And once you're in there, Jacelyn, my virtual assistant, will create some digital swag for you, either Note King or Note Queen with your logo. I mean, so not your logo, but with your face embedded on it. But anyway, we're here to have you. Excited to have you here. If you don't know who I am, ladies and gentlemen, I know some of you guys are like, who is this guy? I'm interested in notes, but I don't know who the heck this Scott Carson guy is. Well, I'm Scott Carson. I'm known across the country as the note guy. I've been buying and investing and selling and working with real estate investors since 2002, full-time real estate investor since 2008, and focused the last 13 years on, I'd say most of the time, buying and selling and investing in distressed debt, and I've been teaching and working with other real estate investors how to tap into the world of non-performing notes. So honored to have you guys here. 2014 Note Educator of the Year, and had some other achievements along the way, but I'm most proud of the fact that I've helped so many students out there find deals, get funding, and really make a big difference in their real estate investing lives, but also the personal lives with the power of paper. Anyway, tonight we'll be divided into two sections every day during the Note Investing Challenge. We'll be doing two lessons, one on finding, one on funding. Now, the first part's always about the finding. Got to have a deal to do anything with. So that's why we're going to focus on the finding part and the funding part. Now, the replays for those, everybody is entitled to the first 5 days. We're actually a 20-day challenge. Everybody's a part of the 5-day challenge. If you'd like to upgrade, you can do so by upgrading to a gold ticket for just 99 bucks. That gets you all the replays, access to all the videos. Or you can jump on for the VIP version for just a little bit more, not only to get all the access, but also we're putting together forms and a full transcript of all 20 lessons on both the finding and the funding side. So that's a nice bang for your buck, besides just the replays and be able to ask questions and so much other goodies, including over $1,000 in bonuses. But shh, I won't be telling you what that is till we get to day 5. So anyway, now's your opportunity to go to 5daynotes.com. If you scroll down, you can and upgrade your ticket and experience, and we're just glad to have you here. But anyway, one of the great things from working with investors for so long and teaching workshops and buying so many deals and working with some of our one-on-ones, we often see people that go to workshops, and I think we've all been there, gone to different seminars to add tools to our tool belt, and we end up literally drinking from a fire hydrant for a day, 2 days, 3 days, however long it might be. It's hard to implement when you can't swallow what you've got coming in. You've got to be able to swallow, digest it, and then implement it. Now, part of the idea of the 5-day Note Investing Challenge is to teach, like I said, that one lesson each day with the hopes, I pray to baby Jesus up there, that you guys will start implementing little things here and there. Now, about 95% of people don't implement anything, and it just drives me bonkers, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want you to be part of that group. You guys are taking action. You're being part of it. I'm really excited that the number of people that have opted into this thing, people can't make it every night at 7 p.m. I get it, but that's why we're making it open, and we'll be using the recordings and sharing that out here soon. But what will we do? And like I said, we'll teach a lesson, a short minute or two break, let's recap, and then go into the second part of the lesson with the funding side. Now, today's day 1 lesson, I should say the funding lesson, the first part, both of them really have a big impact, finding and funding today, LinkedIn and then case studies. But when it comes to the first part and the fun side, we'll be using LinkedIn to find deals. Let me hit the record button. That's important. Don't need the intro, but we do definitely need as we dive into this. All right. So with the Note Investing Challenge, the first part, like I said, we'll be covering a variety of subjects over the 20 days. But the first 5 days, I think it'll be the most impactful. As I thought back for the last couple of weeks as we're coming up with what are we talking about? What are we going to be sharing? As I'm polling my students, polling and asking questions, it always comes down finding deals and then funding. Well, the first thing that I think about is the easiest thing for everybody to do is literally using LinkedIn to find deals. Now, LinkedIn, you don't need the upgraded version. You can do and use the free version of LinkedIn to help you find deals immediately. All right. You can find it in a couple of days if you're using it. Sometimes people have found it in a day one. It's all up to where your LinkedIn profile is at for you. Now, I encourage you all to ask questions. I'm going to try to follow along with you guys. If you're here in Zoom, ask questions here. If you're following us on Facebook, feel free in the group as well to ask questions. All right. And we're going to try to keep it there as we're going live there. All right. So, a question here. Yes, Doug, if you're part of the WCN monthly membership, the 20-day is included as a bonus there for you. That's correct. All right. But anyway, using LinkedIn, the free version, LinkedIn is I say it's one of the most critical staples of not only your real estate business, but your note investing business. Now, let's face it, most real estate investors out there, they can jump on the MLS, they can find a deal. They're used to dealing with landlords or REO, fix and flips, things like that, foreclosures. The note investing side, there is no MLS. There's not a lot, there's no reality shows, we know that for sure. There's no foreclosure listing service for notes. You've got to go direct to the source. But the beautiful thing about being direct to the source is you're often finding deals a lot sweeter, a lot better, and a lot more bulk because you're dealing directly with the banks versus dealing with the end buyers, okay? And the way that we use LinkedIn to find deals is pretty simple, all right? This hasn't changed that much because the banking side of note business hasn't changed much either. A lot of your asset managers, they're not going to answer an email blast. Some will review it, but the whole idea is touching base and making connections. So if you've got a LinkedIn profile, kudos to you. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, guess what? Start one today. If you've got one, get on there and spend some time on it, because what we'll be discussing here with you guys can have a lot of impact in the long run. Now, here. All right, LinkedIn Marketing 101. This is a little basic stuff for you, but I just had to recap because there's always one or two people like, do I need this? Do I need that? Okay. Have a complete profile. Now, what do I mean by complete profile? It means it can be completely filled out, talking about, it's basically, talking about what you've done the last 3 major jobs you've had. You don't need to go back to the time you were in college 20 years ago working at Cafe Java or something like that. But your 3, 4 most important things that you've done in the last few years. I mean, if you've had one job for 30 years, guess what? You've got to put one thing on there, okay? But you don't need to go create 2 profiles. This is a big faux pas. It's a big nasty thing. Don't create 2 profiles. It won't help you. It'll make it look bad. Create you just one profile and share. If you're a social media manager in your full-time job, or I don't care, an engineer, or you're doing something else, it's okay to have 2 profiles. Sorry, 2 segments on your profile that talk about that. Now, your banner photo, you may want to make it a little neutral if you've still got a JOB and your boss will get pissed off. But create one profile, completely fill it out. Put some photos on there. Put some projects. Talk about your interests, your recommendations, okay? It's a resume style profile for you, okay? And what you have to realize, and the reason we're starting off with LinkedIn compared to other things, is this is the place that asset managers are going to go to try to track you down, to find more about you and your firm, okay? You and your company, if you're the real deal Holyfield, okay? So make sure you have something about real estate on there. You're interested in real estate investor, you're a full-time social media manager, full-time psychiatrist, whatever it might be, okay? Project manager, whatever. Make sure you put on there, hey, I've been an active real estate investor since 2002, 2010, 2020, 2020, whatever, okay? All right. What you have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, is you have to put something. We all start somewhere, okay? We all start somewhere, so don't be afraid. Oh my God, I don't show any experience on real estate. I don't have years of experience. Guess what? Nobody does when they start off, okay? Nobody does when they start off, all right? So here's the thing. Fill it out completely. Go through it. If you need a good example, go look at somebody else's profile. Go look at mine. One, Scott Carson, okay? Go look at it. add things to it, tweak it, put your profile photo, put a banner photo behind you, complete your things. If you don't have a profile photo on LinkedIn, that's a no-no. That's not a good thing. Go on there. Now, if you don't have a lot of connections, that's okay. You start reaching out to people, okay? But one of the most important things that you need to do with like any type of social media profile is to post regularly. Now, this is not the same thing where you would post cat images or cat videos or crazy stupid photos. You want to keep it professional. Now, what works really well is putting some sort of daily article out. Now, you don't have to write things. You could go to DS News, Default Servicing News, that's what that is, dsnews.com, housingwire.com, Yahoo Housing, or USA Today. Anything that comes up, Mortgage Minute, and the M Report. There's a whole variety of different real estate-based periodicals or online newsletters that have articles that you could share. The idea here is just not to share the article. That's the one mistake I see a lot of people make. They share an article. What's it about? What's your opinion on this? Why is this so important? Why should I take 5 seconds or 10 seconds from scrolling on LinkedIn one board to look at your article? Why is it important? Share your opinion. Share something. It's free to share an article a lot of times from these other periodicals. It doesn't cost you anything except a little bit of time. So sharing that. Also, if you see somebody else has got a great article, comment. All right? Comment on their post. You see somebody's getting a lot of comment, hey, go on there and post. Those people that are commenting, or those people that get a lot of comments in their profile, that's a great people. Those are great people to connect with. Great people who are influencers on LinkedIn. It's not all about having the context. It's about people communicating, people networking on LinkedIn is one of the most important things. And it's a great way to really get people to start looking at your stuff is to look at other people's stuff that are getting looks, okay? Follow your influencers. If you got an influencer on LinkedIn, follow them. If you follow me, great, follow me. If you're following Tony Robbins, follow him. If you're following other real estate investors, educators, events, go and follow them on there. Look at, now the one thing, this goes back to you if you've got a boss who maybe doesn't like you doing stuff on the real estate, you may want to go not follow your boss. You may want to block your boss from looking at your LinkedIn profile. That's up to you. If you have questions, feel free to drop me an email and we'll talk about it. All right. But follow your influencers and see what they're posting. See what's getting comments. Is it just an image, or is it image plus a discussion? Is it something controversial? Is it something hot going on in real estate? Okay. Obviously, what's big in real estate right now? Defaults, the foreclosure moratorium, the eviction moratorium, price values, short videos on markets, case studies. Those are all good things. Another thing that you can do, which is pretty easy, is you can endorse people for their expertise. That's a great thing that I would do. Or you can also send recommendations to people. Hey, you're a great person, love working with him. Writing recommendations can often open a door to getting in good with people that you may not be 1 degree away from. You may not know them on a first name basis. But one of the things that I've used a lot, I'm using it more and more with different things, is our recommendation stuff, leaving recommendations for a lot of people. And that's a very powerful thing. Somebody will take the time to write a recommendation for you. Oh, I'll take the time. I'll give them plenty of time to talk with them on the phone. Okay. So use the endorsement thing, endorse other people, endorse them for specific skills. A lot of times they'll turn around and reimburse you for that same type of endorsement, or they'll also send you another recommendation. Okay. That's a great way to boost your profile. Get a lot of recommendations, get a lot of endorsements. Okay. Now, what's the magical thing? And this is kind of finding part one, day one, part B, I guess you could say. But short videos do really well. And we're talking short videos, 10 minutes or less on LinkedIn. That's all that LinkedIn will allow you to actually upload there. Now, you can share a longer video, but it just won't be as boosted, and LinkedIn won't give as much weight to it as if you upload that short 10-minute video or less. Now, tonight on part 2 here, case studies, we'll talk a little about that. But uploading things to your LinkedIn profile, things that you record, short videos on that you do with your camera or your phone, talking about a topic, or you're standing in front of a property, or you're looking at a case study, or you're looking at something and you just want to talk about it. Hey guys, check out this article. I'm putting the link below about this, this, and this. That'll get people clicking and get people interacting. Why do we want to add stuff to it? Because it takes time. And if you wait around until you need a profile to really add credibility, or you need to add this stuff, it's too late. Okay. The idea is to start doing this stuff now, because as you start marketing, as you start reaching out to asset managers, you want them to take notice and see, okay, this gal is a real person. This guy is real. Catherine is real. Doug is real. Okay. They passed the smell test and the looky-loo test. Okay. Now, another thing that a lot of people forget about, and this is kind of a 50-50 thing, and by 50-50, you never know what's going to happen, is you can join some big groups on LinkedIn. All right. They've got large and small groups when it comes to real estate investing or special assets or creative real estate. I would go join those groups, because if you join those groups and there's somebody that you're not connected to, it's easier to connect with them if you're 2 or 3 degrees of separations apart. There's some big groups on there that I post on a regular basis, 500,000 people. If I have 1% of 1% looking at my thing, it's a good day, the way I look at it. All right. But getting the word out and what you're doing, same thing, sharing the articles, sharing your case studies, sharing topics, commenting other people's things, you'll start seeing on LinkedIn, especially some of these asset manager groups, people will start posting, hey, they've got deal flow. Or some of you guys will make posts, might come across, hey, I've got a deal, or I'm looking to move this deal. Great place that we found. And like I said, LinkedIn doesn't cost you anything except some time to spend on there. All right. And set up your profile. You can go with a free version and it'll work just as fun. But do this, join the groups, post regularly, but most importantly, have a complete profile, ladies and gentlemen. Complete, I mean, it means it's done. You've gone through and filled everything out. Don't leave stuff sitting around. Don't leave stuff half-ass. Don't have just the bare minimum. By doing the bare minimum, you'll get the bare minimum results, which is basically nothing, okay? Now, what's also nice when it comes to finding note deals is LinkedIn's searchable search factor, their search engine. Yes, it's not going on to Yahoo or Google or anything like that, but the availability of LinkedIn to help you connect with people that are in your right job category in your city, state is second to none. I mean, it is a very powerful tool if you'll use it for the power of good. All right. And you can use the search feature for finding a variety of activities, a variety of job titles for people that handle the type of deal flow that you're looking for. All right. Now, in the note business, in the distressed asset space, if you're looking for just real estate, whether it's notes or REOs, whatever it might be, you can use this. But with the distressed note space or note investors, this is the golden, this is the golden goose to help you find stuff. Okay. You can do a search for special asset managers, just not asset managers, but special asset managers. If you're brand new to note investing, the people inside of the banks that handle the note sales aren't your local VP down at the local corner. They're often in different departments, different states, maybe the corporate office, but it all depends on the size of the bank, size of the lending institution. Your special asset managers are often going to be in your biggest banks out there. That's the title that they go by, the special asset managers. And they'll have a special asset managers for residential notes and commercial notes, usually separate, okay? Sometimes separate parts, some of them will handle different parts of the country, some may handle just one state, right? Another name that a lot of the bigger banks go by is your secondary marketing managers. They're in secondary marketing. What's that mean? It means they're trying to sell that asset off, and an asset buy, I don't mean in real estate, sell that note off on the secondary market. They've either got some scratch and dent loans, non-performing stuff that they're trying to sell. Those two, you'll often find the most amount of search engine results by searching for those two on LinkedIn. Special asset managers, secondary marketing managers, individually type them in, boom, you'll see them. And we'll talk about what to do with those in a second. Chief credit risk officers is another big name. You'll see this, your regional banks a lot of times. These are the people that are evaluating the credit risk of borrowers. We've had a lot of conversations with people that have these titles over the last 6 months, quite a bit, besides the first two. But chief credit risk officer is another search engine. Now, the magical one, which for some reason, I don't know why I didn't mention this before. I've mentioned this thing in one class before. But the magical one, it just seems like common sense, ladies and gentlemen. The fourth name to search for is the whole loan trading desk, whole loan traders. I don't know why I never talked about it, but I've used that as a search term, whole loan trading desk or whole loan trader in LinkedIn. And you know what they do? They're trading loans. It says it in their job title. That's their job title. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody home? That's a great way to look. So looking for people With those 4 job titles, we'll give you plenty of places. Now, besides just looking for them, okay, Scott, I've looked in and I've got 5,000 or 100,000 people. What do I do now? Okay. Well, send them a connection. Send them a short message. LinkedIn allows for you to have like 300 characters in a short message. Tell them what you're looking for. Hey, are you the right person that handles your distressed note sales at your bank? Or, hey, are you guys selling any notes? We'll talk about a little bit what to say here in just a second. But use a short message on what you're looking for. And sometimes I'll include a short link. What I've done in the past is I've recorded a short video, a little short, I say pitched video of me speaking for a minute about exactly the type of assets I'm looking for. Hi, my name is Scott Carson, the CEO of WeCloseNotes.com, Endorse Asset Fund. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I'm looking for your first lien non-performing notes with balances over 100,000, sub $500,000 on the residential side. We'll look at anything on the commercial side, sub 2 million in value in UPB. We're buying for our own portfolio, and we're buying in roughly about 30 major states, excluding New York and New Jersey. But for the most part, we're buying in just about every state out there. Love to talk with you. We're buying in primary and secondary markets. And with the size of our firm, we're boutique enough and big enough to handle some big trades, but boutique enough to be able to be agile in what we're buying. So I'd love to talk with you. Let's have a conversation. Let's make an appointment. So you can say a lot longer, a lot more stuff in that short little video than you can in a 300 character thing, right? What you want to do is write something up and make it pretty simple that you can copy paste. Now you could do this at any time of night. For those of you that are working still job and don't have 9 to 5 to make phone calls, you can use this search. You can use this to help you connect with asset managers while you're sitting in front of the TV, while the power is out. And as long as you still got cell phone access, guess what? You connect people on there. One another thing is too, is as you're reaching out, connecting with people, I would say you probably get around a 20% to 50% response rate. Depends on who you're talking to and what kind of searches you're doing. Now, if you see that people don't have a LinkedIn profile face, are probably not using LinkedIn. So I wouldn't waste your time. If you see that they've got less than 500 connections, they're probably not using LinkedIn. So that's a great kind of a filter for you to decide who you send connections out. Now, the nice thing, LinkedIn will let you send out about 2,500 connection invites, not all at once, but when you get up to 2,500 before they start stopping you. Now, if you've got a brand new LinkedIn profile and don't have 1,000 connections, LinkedIn will limit the amount of people that you can send invites out to. Usually, for those who've got 2,500 connections more, they'll let you get away with about 100 connects a day. Anything when you're less than that, we start seeing where maybe 100 a week. You just have to spend time connecting. That's why you want to start laying that pavement, start building that path to success now by reaching out and sending invites and connections with your friends, relatives, coworkers, other people you come in contact with, other investors here as well. But as you send invites out, you can always go and see who's looked at your profile. As you start building a more robust LinkedIn profile with articles and comments and shares and commenting on other influencers out there, you can literally see who's looked at your profile most of the time. And I like using my profile views to see who's been looking at me, who's been a good person who's checking me out but didn't connect with me, or who did connect with me and who took the time to check out my profile. That acts as a second kind of touch. Of course, if I send an invite out and they look at my profile, but they didn't accept my connection, I will reach back out to them. Or now that I know that they're spending some time on LinkedIn, I may go a different route. I may then follow up with a phone call. But I'll look at my profile views, and I'll also look at other people have been looking at, other people in my niche or genre, other investors, other people, educators, things like that. Who else are they looking at? And I'll connect with those people. Hey, I think we should be connected because I think we're in the same niche or we're kind of in the same field. And that looks really well. Okay. Now you can also search. I love doing this. This has been a big push in the last, I'd say probably last 6 months, is connecting with other people, not just asset managers or secondary marketing managers or whole loan trading desk, or other podcasters, something I use. But I also search for other real estate investors. Now, I will go on there and type in real estate investors. Austin, Texas is one thing that I did today. I did it a couple of days ago. Pulled 1,000 people in and started connecting with 100 Austin real estate investors on a daily basis. I'll talk about how we kind of automate this in one of the next slides. I'll also do this in states. If I'm big in Ohio or big in Michigan, note investors in Michigan, note investors in Detroit. and you can start kind of crafting your LinkedIn connections, your LinkedIn audience for places that you're invested in or places that you're looking to invest in. All right. Pretty easy thing to do. And it makes your profile that much more valuable when you post something that the ideal person that you're looking for starts to see your stuff. If I'm investing heavily in Indianapolis, you better believe I'm going to go looking for note investors and real estate investors in Indiana and Indianapolis. Okay. And it's a great way to start reaching people that are, can either fund my deal or maybe potential buyers for my deals. And most importantly, hopefully they have deals that they're looking to sell. So this is all about finding, right? And that's one of the best ways is using LinkedIn to find deals is to connect with other note investors out there. Today, I got a tape of 60 notes from an investor that came from LinkedIn. Yesterday, somebody responded with a tape of 2 assets that I'm looking at. All right. So this works. You've just got to implement it and stick to it. And with any type of marketing, that's what we're all doing here. It's all about consistency, everybody. Staying consistent in what you're doing on a regular basis. Doesn't have to be 9 to 5 if you got a full-time job or career. It can be 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. It could be while you're sitting at your job, waiting for the bell, ready to get off of work, while you're waiting for the bus to show up or your train, wherever you're at. This is something that you can do on a regular basis, okay? Now, I like using a tool called Octopus. I know I've got some Octopus evangelists on here, people that I've introduced Octopus to that absolutely love it. This is a Chrome plugin that will link into your LinkedIn profile and help pull profiles over. So if I go do a search on LinkedIn for real estate investor, Austin, Texas, okay, I can click on, once I've uploaded Octopus and you download it, I can click on the Octopus icon and it'll pop up and I say, okay, let's pull 1,000 profiles, which is the maximum. And Octopus will identify in your search screen there, you know, you may have 10,000 people, but the first 1,000 that you're not connected to, it can pull those profiles over into Octopus, and then you can automate it with customized first name, last name fields. You can use the same type of wording and send it out, but it looks customized. And then literally this can do like 100 a day, 75 to 100 a day. First thing I do in the morning, boom, I don't even check my email. I go straight into Octopus and I automate that to send out 100 invites a day. Usually we'll get, you know, it's about 500 a week. And out of that, we'll see about a 20% connection ratio. Now, this has helped me grow my LinkedIn connections from 6,000 to just under 25,000. But most importantly, it's allowed for me to be able to communicate with a lot more investors, a lot more note buyers, also getting more deals sent to me when I post something, okay? But Octopus is pretty cheap, octopuscrm.io. If you actually use this link, bit.ly/SC Octopus, use this link. Let's see if it'll let me copy it. I'll put it in the chat roll. Let me put this in the chat roll real fast for everybody. If you use that link, it'll get you a free month free. It'll get you a free month free. It'll get you a month free if you're not already using it. If you're brand new, if you're already using it, kudos. Sorry, didn't get it. But if you're on here today, tonight, watching this, you use this code bit.ly. You click on the link SC Octopus. Yep, that's right. It should take you into an opt-in page and you get a month for free. After a month, it's pretty inexpensive. You can either bill in a year at $14.99, and that's what it comes out to if you bill the year, or you can do $21.99 a month is what I do on a month-to-month basis. When I'm not using it, I stop it, but I go month-to-month on it. But it works really well. And roughly, like I said, I get about 100. I send about 100 connections, 100 invites a day. Think about that. If you could talk with 100 investors, 100 asset managers, how long that would take you? Well, if you dial it for dollars, it would take you most of the day to talk to 100 asset managers. Leave a message. This way, it automates that aspect of it. And it's a great way to get the conversation started when they connect. Then you lead them to a phone call. Then, hey, let's jump on a phone call. Hey, you accept my connection? I'd love to talk with you. And then you schedule that one-on-one phone call. That's also nice, too. They get a lot of people that connect, and you're too busy to do that. You can set up a follow-up email campaign to them using Octopus as well for those that haven't responded. Really nice. And it has this mail merge inside of Octopus. Now, it's not going to work with like a MailChimp or Keep or ClickFunnels or any other Mandrill or anything of those CRM tools. It's basically its own CRM for just LinkedIn. Okay, well worth it. Love this. This is a tool that I think everybody should implement. I see some people on here tonight, Catherine, Laura, Derek, Tree, some others out there that have been using this and absolutely doing some great stuff with it. Okay. You can have multiple lists. Like I have about 20 different lists that we're reaching out to, that we're pulling people over my profile. So like one day I can send it out to Houston investors. One day I can send out to Indiana investors. One day I can send it out to real estate podcasts, because that's the thing for me to help me get on and speak on other podcasts and stuff like that. But this is a tool, trust me, price $21.99 per month if you do it on a month-to-month basis. After the first month, you get for free. It is well worth it, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't care. You don't have to be a note investor. You can use this any type of real estate investing. If you're going after apartments, if you're going after multifamily, if you're going after hotels, if you're syndicating, you could go and connect with so many other things on here. Such an amazing tool. And I can see some people on here, that love this. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right. We've got some, let's see, Terry, Rick, looks like you guys might have your hand raised. If you have some questions, feel free to type it in the chat roll, the Q&A roll. We'll try to get to the questions as we can. All right. You're a loan officer. Maybe you're looking with other home buyer. Maybe you're looking for realtors in an area. This is a great tool to share the love of what you're working on. Okay. All right. And then what do you say? Well, if you're sending out to asset managers, chief credit risk officers, secondary marketing managers, whole loan traders, these are the things that you want to say in your basically your 300 characters. What do you have on your books? What are you looking to move this quarter? All right. I'm looking for NPNs or non-performing notes. What do you have? Okay, that you're looking to move. I'm buying from my own portfolio all across the country. All right. These are important things to say. Now, if you've been to one of our one-day note weekend classes or one of our 3-day virtual note buying workshops, you know there's a little bit more to it in the scripts of stuff out there. And I would highly encourage you to go watch me dollar for dollars and call the banks for 4 hours like we have on our YouTube channel. The idea here is it basically goes directly to the point. Hey, what do you have on your books? What are you looking to get rid of? Here's what I'm looking for. Now, the biggest thing is you want to be generic in what you're looking for. The more specific you get down to like a city, state, or specific asset class, an individual asset class type, it becomes much more difficult. What you want to do is make it as simple as possible for that asset manager who's looking at your LinkedIn profile to send you an email to respond back with a list or non-disclosure agreement, an NDA as they call it. Right. And what you want to do is keep it simple. Hey, this is what I'm looking for: residential and small balance commercial notes, non-performing. That's what I'm looking for. What do you have this quarter that you're looking to get rid of? If you got getting specific on one state or one city, guess what? You've really shot yourself in the foot. The more specific you are, that's not good on the initial part. Now, yes, you may only want to buy in Arizona. You may only want to buy in Utah, wherever you're at. But get the list, because once you get the list, that's your in. Now you can wholesale those deals off. You can move them to other investors. You could co-bid if there's a few assets in your area, but there's other assets otherwise places. We see this as being that's the biggest thing that drives me bonkers, is when I see people getting tapes and they're only buying one or two. They're not using that list to market to other investors. They're still making some money in wholesale fees or points or something like that for the people to bid can be a good thing. Don't lump notes and REOs together. This is a big thing. Don't lump it in. I'm looking for notes and REOs. No, you're not. If you're looking for REOs, you'll be dealing with REO asset managers, okay? Or the REO agents. If you're looking for notes, you're dealing with the bankers. If you start saying I'm looking for both, it's too generic. That's too generic. Specific, I'm looking for notes. The 4 job titles we gave you fall in line with just notes. You know, the asset managers of the banks that handle the note sales, not the REO side, okay? The idea, like I said, is to get a response and follow up via phone or email to them. That's one of the most important things out there, okay? Most important to do that. Just get a response, get in their, get in their world, get in there, get on their radar and start following up. And some of the great things you guys can do is it's easier than you think it is. If you've never reached out to asset managers, this is the easiest thing to start doing and using LinkedIn to build that. Look, you're going to be in real estate or mortgage investing or real estate, any type of real estate. I guarantee you guys are being in it longer than one day or one night. So you've been in it for years. Start using LinkedIn. It is one of the most effective tools. I wish LinkedIn had been around when I got started back, 11, 12, 13 years ago. Very brand new. It wasn't like it is today. And literally you are, the whole term, 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon. You're all 1 degree from bringing home the bacon, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. 1 degree. from so many connections and so many amazing deals. You've just got to start marketing, sharing a little bit and doing a little bit extra than what everybody else is doing. You want to help everybody else is doing? Nothing. Stand up, do a little bit extra, and just stay consistent with it. And in 30, 60, 90 days, you'll be amazed at the results. Okay? Questions about what we've covered so far. I know some of you are like, wow, that's a lot for one lesson on just LinkedIn there. I know. Ask your questions, ladies and gentlemen. Now, to give you a bit of an idea of some of the other things while you guys are typing your questions here, some of the other things that we'll be talking about in the first 5 days here. So obviously using LinkedIn was the first thing we talk about. Tomorrow we'll be talking about using Lane Guide. It's one of the few things that you can pay for to build special asset manager list of contacts. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. Wednesday, we'll talk about using state licensing websites to find mortgage bankers that have deals in your state. Thursday, we'll talk about dialing for dollars and calling asset managers. Yeah, I know, yawn for some of you, but it's a thing you'll need to do at some point, get on the phone with these asset managers. And then Friday, for day 5, we'll be talking about Scotsman Guide to find some commercial notes. I know commercial notes is a big thing for some of you guys. It's also the asset class that we're seeing hit the market the most right now, okay? Dave asks, are you able to wholesale a note to other investors off of a tape you received from another asset manager, et cetera? Yeah, dude, I've done it for years, Dave. You just want to secure the tape in some sort of fashion. You want to work smart. We'll talk about that a little bit in one of our exit strategies later on. But yeah, you can wholesale deals. I've secured whole tapes. I never bought anything on myself, but I wholesaled them all out. Just about how you go and securing. It's also the most important thing is how big your list is and how many people you're marketing to. So yes, done it many a time. Do it all the time. And it's a very, very great thing to be doing there, Dave. Great question, Dave. Another question here. Mike Briaz asks, do you suggest using LinkedIn Premium versus not using it? I think anything that you use, like with LinkedIn Premium, if you pay for the upgrade, use it. If you're not going to do the simple things, then don't pay the extra money, okay? I would go in and use, if you're going to sign up for it, you start using it. If you're not using it, it can be very, very, you don't want to spend that extra money and not being used, okay? William Schmitty Smith says, do you let the sellers know you're a broker? No, you should never let the banks know you're wholesaling. You're always buying for your own portfolio. You're buying for your own portfolio. It may just be on your portfolio for only 5 minutes, okay? Sylvia asks, with Octopus, can you schedule emails to go out on several days or different days? No, Sylvia, I don't believe you can go on there. I've not scheduled to go out and automate it like a MailChimp or anything like that. Basically, I go in and I send them an email, go out that day when I'm in there. All right. Good question, though. Good to see you. Henry asked a question. I have a call with a former colleague tomorrow who is now a CEO of a bank in DC. I plan to ask her the questions you laid out here to try and get a tape from her. Any other tips since I'm a newbie? Just ask them if they got any non-performing notes they're looking to get rid of. That would be the simple thing. Way too much to go through in a less than a 12-hour period, Henry. But yeah, ask them if they've got any non-performing notes we can get rid of. She's probably not the right person to talk to because she's probably handling operations, but she can put you with the special asset manager or the secondary marketing manager or the chief credit risk officer. Depends how big the bank is or how small the bank is, what their title is. But asking if they have any non-performing notes they're looking to get rid of, residential, commercial. Hey, you're buying for your own portfolio. Let's just see what they have. Okay. Tony Miller asks, are you able to view these videos off of Facebook? I currently have some issues with Facebook. Yeah, Tony. Yes. The replays, the first 5 days. If you're just the 5 day, yes, we'll send a link out to it so you guys can watch it. Okay. Henry, she used to be the chief credit risk officer. Oh, well, why didn't you say so, my friend? Then yes, chief credit risk officer. Ask her, hey, if they've got more stuff in the DC area, not just DC, other parts around DC, Virginia, Maryland, other parts there, and see what they've got in their books. So there you go. That's awesome. Why didn't you say so in the beginning there, Henry? All right. Good stuff. All right. And Henry, if you get a tape in and you're like, what the hell do I do? Give me a phone call. We'll dive into it. But anyway, guys, that's a bit great questions. Great questions. To give you an idea, that's kind of what we're covering the first 5 days. Now, if you're wondering what we're going to cover after the first 5 days, let me share that here in just a second. Okay, Alice, you got to go. You go to LinkedIn you don't go to LinkedIn for Octopus. Go to octopuscrm.io. Sign up at octopuscrm.io or use that link bit.ly/scoctopus, the link I put in the chat roll. Okay, All right, moving on here, give you a bit of an idea. All right, great stuff. Then follow the video. There's plenty of videos on there for you to use to how to start using it and stuff like that. Okay. Great. Here's the top ways, the top 20 ways that we use to find deals. And I looked at all of these, and I've used all of these in the last 12 months. Obviously, LinkedIn searching, lane guide, state licensing, dialing for dollars, Scotsman guide. We'll be covering those the first 5 days. But some of the really amazing stuff that works really well. I mean, don't get me wrong, those 5 all work really well on a budget. Done that for years. But LinkedIn groups and Facebook groups and conferences and other note buyers, note platforms, Bauer Financial, you've heard me talk about, county records, servicing company, MBA conferences, foreclosure lists, condo associations, short sale listings, dialing for dollars, ladies and gentlemen, following up on bids, and using other wholesalers or brokers. We'll be covering all of these over the next 20 days. All right. Love for you to have a part. Love to have you be in this for the next 20 days as well for you. Okay. Any other questions about the content that we shared so far on the finding side? Okay. I can't walk you through working Octopus tonight. I will do a video on it and show you how to work it, but you've got to spend some time working around there. If you're not using LinkedIn already to connect with asset managers, before you go pay for something, jump on LinkedIn and start playing around with it. Okay. You got to have a LinkedIn profile first, really, before using Octopus. Okay. Good stuff. All right. Any other questions before we move to day one's funding? All right. Let me get a sip of water and we'll dive into the funding side here in just a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to be talking about using case studies to raise capital. This is our day one of our 20-day blitz here in a 5-day note investing challenge for you guys. And I think this is one of the most powerful things that you can use is case studies. Now, the big thing, what I mean by case studies, everybody I talk to, when you're a brand new investor, you're like, I have no experience, so I can't do this. And you all just give up. I can't do it. I don't have any experience. I have to prove a concept. Oh, I hate that. I have to go home and pray on it. Okay, yes. Already your prayers have been answered. That's why I'm here. Oh, I got to prove the point. No, you don't. The point and the concept's been proven for decades, hundreds and hundreds of years. You just got to take action on it. And whether you're brand new investor, or you're a seasoned who's done $20,000, $40,000 deals, whatever, case studies are the #1 way that everybody can use to raise capital, to fund your deals, okay? Exactly. Case studies, easy way to do it. Don't care where you're at. Don't care what type of experience. If you use the case studies concept, it will not only help you raise capital, it'll help you build confidence. It'll help you get in that conversation, then it'll be easy to raise a whole lot more money. Syndicators out there are talking about case studies. They're talking about the types of deals they're doing. And that's the same thing that you can be doing on your one-off deals, okay? Now, one of the biggest things that frustrates me is when I see wholesalers not try to get people to fund their deal. There's nothing wrong with flipping paper, okay? But if you're wholesaling, you're not really an investor. And if you start changing and tweaking your message and said, hey, here's the deal for you, just give me my 1 to 3% or whatever. Hey, I want you to fund this deal and we partner on it in some sort of fashion, then that adds a lot. Because any type of good wholesaler, a good note investor, a good real estate flipper, whatever, they're going to raise capital. They know the numbers. They know what's going on in that deal. All right. They've done their research. They know the answers to questions. And that's one of the most important things is you're looking at either case studies that you're doing from somebody else, or you're looking at a deal, or you're looking at a past deal. It's always important to make sure you know the deal. Okay. But in a case study is tell the story. That's what it comes down to. You just can't slap numbers. There's the unpaid balance, the value. Here's the rent rates. People don't know what the hell they're looking at. All right. You can't just slap like 5 bullet points. And what's that mean? You have to tell the story, whether it's on paper or on video. or on a PowerPoint. You got to tell the story. You got to be able to share what's going on in that case study. The numbers are great, and the more that you look at more numbers, you can often tell what the story is. Just like when I get a tape in, I can see, oh, that borrower made payments here. They made a payment here, missed a month here, made a double payment, missed a month, made a double payment. They're just off track a little bit, or they tried to stay in their house. There's a lot of things you can tell, but to the unknowing mind, unknowing eye, they don't know what's going on. So you got to tell the story and dumb it down. Make it simple. Know your numbers, but don't just get diarrhea of the mouth and throw numbers up at them. That's the worst thing you can do, because they're like, what's this mean? Tell the story like you're talking to a 5-year-old, okay? But most importantly, you know what you want to do? You want to sell the BAM, baby. BAM. You remember Emerald Lagasse? BAM. We're going to throw a little bit of BAM on there. That wafting, the quaff you can smell, you know, that fume. You want to sell the BAM. This is a great deal because of BAM. We bought it at 50 cents an hour. Or BAM, the borrower wants motivated to stay there. Or BAM, it's in a hot area. Woo, I'm getting lightheaded going BAM, BAM, BAM. All right. Anyway, sell the BAM. All right. Sell that BAM. All right. Hey, it's a great deal because it's in Florida, baby. It's in Miami. It's in Austin. There's a BAM to every deal. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been done. Okay. BAM, it's owner occupied. And they want to stay in the house. BAM, BAM, BAM. All the way to the bank, bank, bank. Okay. You need, the most important thing is a good image, not an image of you. It's an image of either a screenshot, a drive-by, Google Map image. You need a good image of the property, something that makes the property look good. Okay. If it's through the trees in the woods to grandmother's house you go and you can't see it, no, that's not a good thing. You also want to make sure you take the Google Map thing with the arrows off it, okay? But you need a good image, okay? And your case study, whether it's you're doing a deal or you're pulling a deal from somewhere or somebody else is sharing a deal, create a one-page flyer, a one-page doc or flyer or image with some of the things you can use Canva to use it, canva.com, easy to use, and the KISS method, baby. Keep it simple, stupid. All right. Good picture of the property. You want the picture being a good picture. If you've got some other photos, great, make them smaller, but the street shot view, great. One-page flyer could have a little details. Here's the balances of owed. Here's what happened. And then tell the story in a short paragraph, okay? Deal details. Hey, here's what's owed. Here's the value of the property. Here's what we're buying it for. Here's the payment is, how many months behind. The deal details and the numbers. It's okay to share that, but also share a paragraph or two about the deal. Tell them the story, okay? Announce it, all right? You want to dictate what they're looking at. And this is why you say, here's a property we bought the note on. They owed this much. It was worth this. It took us 6 months to foreclose. It was worth 110. We sold it for 90. We made 50 grand in 12 months. Okay. All right. So just a short one page. It can be a Word doc with a good photo and then a little paragraph. That's what I did before I learned about Canva. But the thing is, I took some case studies of the deals, some different types of deals that I've done, and I actually gave them to my students. I said, okay, here's the information and here's a short paragraph. All right. You don't need to give every detail about the property, the location. Just say, here's this and here's what we did. And here's the type of strategy it was. Okay. Just make it simple. Make it look good, but keep it simple, ladies and gentlemen. And once you have a flyer or an image or a picture or a video, share it freaking everywhere. Share it everywhere you can to get the word out on what you're doing. All right. You got the flyer, great. If you're gonna do a short 2-minute video, all you need is 2 or 3 little PowerPoint slides. One slide's about the picture of the property with some details. Second slide is what happened with the strategy. Okay. A short 2-minute video will raise you more capital than you will in anything you do. Hey, I got a great deal in Tampa Bay. Here's a picture of the property. You can see it on my screen here. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, worth 150 grand. I can pick it up for 75 grand. Borrower's upside down, willing to walk away. We could buy this note, foreclose in a year, and sell it as an REO and double our money. Okay. Not hard to do. Video, you'll hear me talk about this, but your case study videos are the most important thing you can do. When I'm just going through working with some of my one-on-one students, that's the first thing that we did. I told them, like, listen, you got to film case study videos. You got to film case study videos. because that tells your experience. And one guy's like, well, I haven't done any deal. That's okay. You got a tape in. Let's walk through 3 of these deals. Let's do a short case study on these 3 videos as the types of deals that you do. Okay. And that's what we did. All right. PowerPoint, not long at all. Most of you should be able to use PowerPoint, 3 to 5 slides, making a presentation very easy to do. It sells that BAM on the case study side of things. Now, case studies, do's and don'ts. Do's, these are the types of deals that we do. Okay. I always like starting with 3 case studies. You need to talk about past deals you've done, present deals you're working on. If you don't have that and you're brand new, that's okay. Talk about other people's deals. Say, hey, here's a deal that my friend Steve did, and these are the types of deals that we do. Okay. I like, when the 3 types of cases, I like to talk about a performing note or a reperforming note, a deed in lieu or cash for keys where the borrower gave us the property and walked away, and then also one that we had to foreclose on. I want to set, if I'm talking with an investor, I want to set the expectation they could go one of those 3 or 4 ways. All right. But you want to have those types of case studies. Now, I don't share the street address unless you closed on it. If it's off a tape and you're working as a sample deal, great. Don't share the street address. Say, hey, this is a deal in San Antonio that we're working on. Okay. You can see here on the right-hand side, this is an image of a YouTube video that one of our students did, made an offer on it. He was wanting to raise capital because it was a pretty good deal. I said, listen, don't share the address. It is San Antonio. It's a hot enough market. That's the BAM. All right. BAM, San Antonio there. That shared it. And then he got funding for, okay. You could go to Paper Stack, others, pull assets off of there, start marketing those deals before you have the funding in place so that you kind of get some of your marketing done, rock and roll. What's the worst thing you can say? Oh, I didn't get the deal. No, just say due diligence didn't work out. We went to the next one. They countered back too much on what we wanted. We moved on to the next one. The idea is to get that. Just because you walk into a restaurant and smell peppers means you may not eat peppers. You may go with steak because something sounds better on the menu. That's the whole thing with this. You're not lying. You're providing, hey, these are the types of deals we do. You're getting that investor who's got capital, money sitting on the sidelines, burn a hole in their pocket to want to invest with you because they see you taking action. Now, what did most people do when they don't have a deal? They don't do shit. They sit there on their hands and knees, waiting around, whining about that there's nothing out there, when there are plenty of deals out there that you guys could be raising capital for right now. Okay. If you've ever been to our 3-day virtual note buying workshop that we're actually hosting on the 26th to 28th, we've got several case studies there, along with scripts and other things that you guys can use. But literally, sample case studies of deals that you do, types of deals that you do, deals that you're working through. Great. Get your network, get your LinkedIn connections, get your people in your warm database excited and start to pay attention to what the heck you're doing. Okay. Now, when I talk about case studies, we're using, many of you have probably seen this. This is a 1-page flyer on a property I bought a note on in, this was in Sunset Trace, Florida. I used the address, but I didn't use the city and say this is in Palm Beach County. There we go. And I talk about, hey, this is the first lien UPB, 155,000 plus 2 years of arrearages. We bought the note at 55,000 plus attorney costs. It was worth about 100. Took us 18 months to foreclose. And I just talk, we picked up, there's 3.2, there's 2.5, whatever, boom. Pretty much, deal took a little longer than our normal 12-month time frame, but it turned out to be a good deal. All right. That's a normal flyer. You may want to have one and perform it. It's got it's the best picture I could find of the property, but it's been used many a time. Many of my students have used this sample deal plus others to raise capital for their own business. Now, when I talk about a case study video, this could be the sample. All right. This is the thumbnail. You see the video is only 3 minutes and 47 seconds long. Okay. Not long at all. Montrese Walters, one of our coaching students, had a deal in San Antonio, made an offer. I was waiting through to come through it. And I said, listen, let's not wait around. Take a screen. Let's pull a picture of the San Antonio property. You've got all the numbers. The numbers aren't changing. So let's talk about the numbers of the deal. So 3 minutes, 47 seconds. And it was about 6 slides. His logo was the first one. His contact information was the last slide. In between it was about what they do, the picture of the property, the detailed numbers, and then how people take action. And he had 18 views on it. That's not huge, but 18 is a lot better than 1 or none. All right. The more views you get, the more you're sharing, the more views people are going to take attention. That's the whole point. You also be like, something like a PowerPoint slide. Like what a lot of times we do our masterminds or coaches is they'll put slides together. And A lot of times, all you need is 2 slides. And this is the slide of one case study from one of our students, Laura Blanc, actually, from a deal that she did in Laredo, how she actually closed on this one. And so she listed the information on the left-hand side as slide 1, and then slide 2. She talked a little bit more that, hey, they bought it at 4, she bought it at 14, borrowers made $1,500 payments. Basically, it's going to be a really good ROI to over 62% plus or minus. Okay, but it's simple. One case, a little bit about the details, picture of the property. Second slide is basically the story. You got 3, 4, 5 deals that you can pull off of it. Now, she'd actually closed on this, so she put the full address. But maybe you put Lorain, Ohio NPN or Lorain, Ohio CFD. That's kind of the examples I'm trying to get at with you. Very simple to use, but it is the biggest bang for the buck. And if asset managers see you with case studies or deals that you're doing, the types of deals you're doing, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That builds confidence in their mind that you know what the F you're doing. And you know what? You know what the F means? Finding and funding. You know how to find and fund some deals out there, and that's what they're looking for, okay? So don't be shy about this. Share them everywhere, whether it's an image, a video, PowerPoint slide, share them everywhere. Take a few minutes to look professional. Put your logo on there. Spend some time in Canva. Don't just slap the first ugly photo and make it look at the slides. I had one guy a while back that just put all these numbers, and I'm like, okay, what's the deal? Well, what do you mean, what's the deal? I said, what's the story? People remember stories. And with your case studies, tell the story. People remember stories, they don't remember numbers. People to this day still remember the deal I talk about, where the lady daughter named her lady's daughter named their newborn son after me. And then we kept them in the house, or that they paid the house off in 6 years versus 30 years. Talk about the case studies. Talk about the tales, the tale of the tapes. That's what it's all about. You'll stand out from the crowd. Everybody's looking at stuff, especially if you're a local RIA club or stuff like that. Everybody's all, oh, what does that number on what you talked about? Hey, stand out from the crowd a little bit, okay? 95% of people won't do anything, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are honestly that 5% of people that hopefully do take action. All right. Somebody asked me the other day how many people I've taught over the last 10 years or the last 13 years as a note investor and educator. I'm like, thousands. And they're like, how many people? 5% maybe do something. 1% get to the point where they closed on more than 10 deals. That's normal. Doesn't matter who you are. It's that 5% to 1%. And you all, I know, are in that 1% to do take care of things. Share it everywhere. If you got a video or an image, then share it to your email list. Number one, you do the deal of the week. If you've done 10 deals, guess what? You got 10 case studies. That's 10 weeks of emails on your deal of the week. By the time you get to 10 weeks, you better be looking at some more deals for sure. But I guarantee you will, because people will see that you're doing things and start reaching out to you. They'll start communicating. The fact that you share something longer than 5 weeks or 5 touches with somebody, it boosts your credibility and the ability to close and to raise capital a whole lot more, because they show you being diligent in what you're doing. We talked about LinkedIn, sharing your case studies to your LinkedIn profile. You can actually make it a priority. All right. One of my deals is how I made 40 grand from $100, and you can click on it and see it. Okay. Share it to groups, or once you start connecting with people, you may be using Octopus, like in Indianapolis. Hey, I got a deal in Indianapolis. Here's my most recent case study on a deal that I just did in Indianapolis. Thought you might enjoy. Okay. Sharing it to Facebook groups, Facebook pages, meetup groups. You can share case studies too. Great way to connect with a lot of investors to raise capital from. YouTube, you should be sharing your videos to YouTube, to LinkedIn, Facebook videos, uploading to those pages. Staying under that 10-minute mark is really good for case study. Actually, under the 5-minute mark works best for everything else. 2 to 3 minutes is roughly the magical number when it comes as far as the case study videos. Okay. Another thing that I've used in the past has worked really well. Sending out a postcard or a letter. I mean, you've all gotten it before, where a realtor is put on your doorstep or a postcard. Hey, just close on this property in your neck of the woods. What do? You keep that postcard because you want to know what Johnny's sold his house for and what your value of your house is. But B, hey, there's a realtor that knows my market. If I need a realtor, I don't know somebody, this is the person I can call. Okay. But I've used it before. Vistaprint, you could buy. I like Postcard Mania a little bit more for my bulk postcards, but for small, you could buy 50 postcards for as little as $22.50. And what do you put in the postcard? Guess what? picture that property, maybe the street and city, or the city, state. And on the back end, the detail, a little short paragraph of the deal. And that could be something you mail out to investors around that property by jumping on the county records, which is one thing we'll talk about later on. You could keep it as a flyer. I've done this before, closed case studies, just a flyer of deals, or use our most recent case studies. That's worked really well at conferences or networking events or meetup groups. You can use it. Actually, I've seen people use a case study flyer and send it in along as an example. They know what the heck they're talking about. It becomes really great for them to be on a podcast or something like that. It's a great way to raise capital. So the case studies, by ladies and gentlemen, I scream this from the rooftops. What have you done? If you haven't done anything, that's okay. Let's start looking like you're doing something. Let's start that momentum. Get that momentum going. Because when you stop marketing, stop talking about deals, you get deflated like a bad balloon and you just fall to the earth. Keep it going. And everybody on here watching this live or watching the replay, reading this later on, whatever, you have the capability of doing this. You just have to take a few minutes, spend a little time, and market it. And that's not hard at all. Okay? Questions about case studies? I'm going to put it up there. Questions from you, ladies and gentlemen. This is not you just sharing it, taking an image. Look, if you close on a loan, I know we got some mortgage brokers and we got some realtors on it. Hey, you closed on a property, you sold the property, or you closed on a loan, just closed on a deal. You share it everywhere. Okay? It's a case study. Maybe it's not your company. Hey, your company just did this, or we're doing that. It adds expertise. And you all can be expertise. Hey, we're getting ready to close on this deal in San Antonio. We're closing on this deal in Indianapolis. We're closing on this deal in Miami, Austin, San Diego, Phoenix, whatever. Start sharing case studies of what you're doing or what your friends have done or the types of deals that you're doing, and you'll raise a lot of capital. Okay? Questions before we let you go after day one? Was this valuable for you guys so far on the LinkedIn side when it comes to finding deals, and then so far in the case studies when it comes to funding? Now, give you a little bit of tease. I mentioned this last week a little bit, but the top 5 things we'll talk about over the next 5 days. Today, we're talking about, obviously, case studies. We'll talk about tomorrow on sending out regular emails to your database. Yes, strip marketing. Everybody's like, oh, I don't want to talk about this, but it's the #1 thing for raising capital. 3, on Wednesday, using lists of self-directed IRA investors on county appraisal district, literally how you can pull hundreds of IRA investors. And we'll show you a few counties that you can pull hundreds in literally seconds. It's worth showing up just to know a couple of those counties, okay? You can mark it out to. 4, networking with other investors. You guys, some people just suck at networking, and I'll show you some of the things that we do when it comes to funding deals. No, you don't get diarrhea of the mouth and throw up on them. I'm going to show you some effective ways for networking that may kind of blow your mind. 5, on Friday, we'll be talking about some of the conferences. Note conferences or real estate investment conferences that you want to attend or look forward to. Maybe you don't have to attend. You get back to normal, I'll show you some things. The ways to find investors for funding sources. So we'll talk about that. But we've got a big slate of topics over the next 20 days. Those 5 are included, but after that, we'll talk about using the county clerk for some more. We'll talk about the self-directed IRA events, IRA 401k lists, foreclosure lists, sponsoring events, LinkedIn search as well, Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, podcast news and video to find funding, bigger pockets, meetup groups, title companies to find funding sources, buyers list, other investors, and we'll also talk wholesalers and brokers out there to help you buy what? You can find funding from wholesalers and brokers. Oh, you bet your sweet Georgia ass you can to raise funding. So question here. Larissa says, when you say it's a deal your friend did, then are you trying to say that these are the types of deals you want to be doing? I'm assuming you want to always ask for permission. Yeah, of course, ask me, hey, can I use your case study? Can I share your case study? Yeah, Larissa, these are the types of deals that we do. And you know what? If they give you the details or they don't give you that, so I don't know, guess what? Just share the city, state. These are the types of deals that we're doing. Just share it. Nobody's going to care, okay? Nobody's going to care. They're not going to know, okay? How do you give credit appropriately? You don't need to worry about giving credit. Hey, these are the types of deals that we do. It's a San Antonio property located in San Antonio, okay? Here's the numbers behind it. You can be generic that way, Larissa, and not worry about anything, okay? Terry asked a really good question. Are you doing LinkedIn profile for yourself or your company? You should have a profile for both, okay? Profile for both, okay? Excellent, Tim says. All right, ladies and gentlemen. But those are the top 20 things. Love for you guys to be a part of all 20 days. Like I said, the first 5 days are included for everybody, but the full 20 of what we're going to cover, that's for either the gold ticket or the VIP ticket. So love for you guys to be a part of it. Are there any other questions, comments, concerns? Hopefully you guys have power. Fun day one. I had fun tonight. I don't know about you all, but I had a lot of fun. I think by the questions you asked and the comments you made, I think you guys enjoyed this too and took a lot away with it. Thank you, Tim. Good start. Thanks, buddy. Good talking to you earlier today as well too. All right, what do I have left here? So yeah, first 5 days videos, guys, will be up for you guys after 5 days. Only those that are either the gold or the VIP passes will get access to the replay videos. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're part of the VIP, we'll share some case studies in there for you to use. Yes, woo! I'll give you some case study examples and some of the things that you can say to help you kind of picture stuff. I'm gonna give you a private funding PowerPoint presentation you can use if you're part of the VIP at the end. So that's all that I have for everybody this evening for day one on the 5-day Note Investing Challenge. Do yourself a favor, jump on LinkedIn, start connecting with asset managers, start reaching out, start putting your profile together. That's the most important thing. Start putting your profile together, where you worked at, what are you doing, what's your experience, how long you've been an investor, and that'll help set the foundation to get things rocking and rolling. Otherwise, go out, take some action, everybody, and we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.